The cry from Hollow Creek is something that has been in my town for years, maybe for generations. It's supposed to be the sound of a woman who lost something in the woods behind the old cremation ground. The night had a strange stillness about it, the kind that made even the trees hold their breath. Hollow Creek, Pennsylvania, was the sort of town where nothing ever really happened, at least not in daylight. After dark, people locked their doors early, pretending not to hear the sounds that sometimes drifted through the woods near the old cremation ground. Everyone in town knew the stories. The flickering lights by the riverbank, the wailing of a woman who cried for something or someone long gone. But like every story meant to scare, the young never believed it. Ethan Cole didn't believe in ghosts. He was 18, stubborn, and hungry for adrenaline. On that fog-heavy Friday night, he sat on the front seat of Kyle's rusted pickup truck, parked at the edge of the forest road that led towards the cremation grounds. Maria sat in the back, arms crossed, eyes darting nervously between the dark trees. Kyle leaned forward with his usual mischievous grin, the kind that always got them into trouble. "You're not going to back out, are you? You talk like you're fearless. Prove it. 1 hour inside the Hollow Creek cremation house. That's all." Ethan smirked. "An hour in an old building? Please. You owe me $20 when I come out alive." Maria looked pale. "It's not just a story, Ethan," she whispered. "My grandma said her brother disappeared there in the 60s. They heard crying that night, like a woman sobbing for something, and then thunder." Her voice trembled slightly, the sound swallowed by the fog pressing against the windows. Ethan chuckled and stepped out of the truck. His flashlight cut a thin beam through the mist. He said, "Thunder doesn't scare me. Go." Then he heard it. A voice, soft, fragile, almost too faint to be real. "Help me." Ethan froze. The flashlight trembled in his hand. He swung it toward the corner of the room, his breath catching. "Kyle! Maria? This isn't funny." There was no reply, just a low hum of wind slipping through cracks in the walls. He moved closer, his boots crunching over old debris. Then, something glinted on one of the tables, a small white bangle. He picked it up. It was cold. Too cold. A sharp chill crawled up his arm, sinking into his veins. The moment his fingers closed around it, the light flickered violently and died. He cursed under his breath, tapping the flashlight until it blinked back on. That's when he saw her. She stood in the far corner, her figure faint in the dim light. A woman, barefoot, her dress white but stained with soot and ash. Her hair hung over her face, long and tangled, dripping like something had soaked it moments ago. When she moved, it wasn't like walking. It was as if the air carried her forward. Her voice was a whisper, raw and broken. "Give it back." Ethan's heart pounded. "What? Who are you?" She raised her head. Half of her face was burnt, skin melted and blackened, the other half pale and ghostly white. Her eyes, empty, hollow, glowed faintly in the dark. "My child burned here," she said, her tone trembling with grief. "They took her bracelet. Give it back." Ethan dropped the bangle. It clattered to the floor and rolled toward her. The woman let out a scream, so shrill it felt like glass shattering inside his head. He stumbled backward, covering his ears, then bolted for the door. He didn't dare look back. Behind him, the scream turned into sobbing, soft and distant, echoing through the ruins. When he reached the gate, he was gasping for air. The fog had grown thicker, swallowing everything beyond a few feet. He ran, until his lungs burned, until his legs gave out, until the outline of the pickup truck came into view again. But something was wrong. The truck was there, but it was old, older than before. The red paint had peeled away, the glass cracked, vines creeping through the windows. And there was no. It was 12:35 a.m. when the storm began to settle over the small, forgotten village. The rain came down in slow, steady drops, and each flash of lightning painted the old house in brief, violent light. Shadows danced across the walls, long and twisted, like they were alive. Mahi had come here only 3 days ago, to his late grandfather's country house, hoping for some peace and quiet away from the chaos of city life. But there was no peace here, only the kind of silence that felt watched. The house was ancient, built over 100 years ago. The floors creaked, the windows groaned, and the smell of damp wood filled the air. There was one room at the far end of the hallway, sealed shut with heavy chains and a wooden plank nailed across it. His grandfather had always warned him, "Don't open that door, Mahi. No one sleeps in there. Something waits awake." Mahi used to laugh whenever his grandfather said that. Ghost stories, he thought. Old people's tricks to scare kids. But that night, as thunder rolled across the sky, a sound came from behind the locked door. Knock, knock, knock. It was faint at first, like fingers gently tapping wood. He froze. The sounds came again, louder this time, slow and deliberate. Knock, knock, knock. He grabbed the lantern, trying to convince himself it was the wind. The house was old. Wood swells, doors rattle, simple. But when he stepped into the hallway, something felt wrong. The air was cold, the light flickered, and under the door, he saw it, the faint outline of feet. Someone was standing there.